Hi folks, how you doing? RussellTrueResults303.com. Check out the website, link in the description box. Mind, Body, Spirit, Fitness. Put in the Healing Back and Health. Once again, don't forget to check out the website. Get your free downloads, Setting Goals, Fitness, and Nutrition. Follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Podcast is out there as well. Coming at you today. Trying to think of what my topic was going to be. I guess I'll just go with this one because I don't know what it was going to be. Oh no, this is what it was going to be. The true barter system. What is this true barter system? Right? I used to work with this Indian dude, Native American Indian, and he would always talk about, I wish I could just be back in the day, right? Where you kind of hunted your own food, you built your own house, maybe you raised some cattle, things like that, versus this crazy system that we're in right now where like you have to go to work and you have to do these things and all this craziness going on. And I kind of understand it. Sometimes I wonder what it would be like to be around back then. Like in reality, you could have just went off to the mountains, built yourself a log cabin, and as long as you had enough food and a way to protect yourself from nature, enemies, and things like that, good to go, right? Didn't have to do anything else but hunt your own food, find your own water, build your own place. And it does sound kind of nice, but to tell you the truth, I don't know. It would be interesting. But a true barter system, I think this is what we've got to understand. We have a misconception of what this barter system is. And I think this barter system, I just created a video called The Utopian Society. Something along those lines. And the lie that they're trying to feed us. But I think we've got to understand like the true barter system, right? It's sometimes the equivalent of there's, I know it's Father Strickland. There's many different ways that this has been quoted or been worded. But the way that he words it is there's no limit to the good you can do on this earth as long as you do not care who gets the credit, right? Oh, I thought I brought me some coffee down. It's not. And I think that's a good way to look at it. And that's how the bartering system is. I think in reality, the bartering system wouldn't be like, okay, I raise cattle, so I'm going to cut up some cattle and I'm going to give you some corn. And in return, I'm going to give you some beef. In return, you're going to give me corn because you grow corn or you grow carrots or I grow chickens, so I'm going to give it to you. I think the true barter system is knowing that I give you something, right? Doesn't necessarily mean you have to pay me back. Just because I know someone's going to come down the road and give something to me, right? And everybody's sharing, which would be that true utopian society, right? Share with me, share with me. It could be the equivalent of possibly like I raise all the cattle, so I butcher the cow, I divide it up. We have 7 families in our village. Divide that cow into 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, right? You're the person that raises corn. You're going to split it into 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. And so on and so on. You're the person that does milk. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Right? And that doesn't mean you're always going to get the same quantity, the same, the best quality. But once again, everybody's going to be getting something. It's kind of that concept as well of you do something because it's the right thing to do. Right? If there's a poor old lady who's trying to buy her medication at the store and she's $5 short and you happen to have $5, just fork over the $5. You're not like, here's $5, give me your phone number, I'll call you when you got, and call me, here's my phone number, call me when you have the money, right? No, you're just doing it because it's the right thing to do. You got $5, you were most likely going to go to McDonald's and buy a couple of spicy chickens and horribly treat your body anyways, right? So I think we've got to understand that that's more of what the bartering system, in my opinion, would mean. Not just I give you something, you give me something. So if we can get that concept, and I think it'll go from there and it'll start to actually make more sense. But once again, it comes down to that concept of when are you going to have enough? How much is enough, right? What's truly fair? And I think if we go to biblical times into the Bible, that's kind of where Jesus talks about the man who stored up all his grain. And then he decided, oh man, I have way more grain than I need. So I need to build a bigger barn so I can hold even more grain, right? And then all of a sudden he builds a bigger barn. He has even more grain, and then like a flood comes and washes it all away. And we need to be careful of that as well, right? Because I think it's that same concept. We hoard so much that in reality we don't need it and others could use it. And if we can truly get out of that train of thought, then this world will be a better place. And I had one more thing. Then I got off topic there and I forgot about it. It's going to tick me off because then I might have to remake this video. But once again, just something to think about. When is enough enough? Right? It's the same concept. I made a video on why your children are always going to be poor. Right? Why your children's always going to be poor. You've got to understand that at some point in a rich person's life, right? Like these people that inherited wealth, they say there's a difference between being rich and there's a difference between being wealthy. Well, at one time, that wealthy person was just rich. And then someone in their family that was rich was less rich, right? Then someone in their family was just middle class. And then before that, somebody was poor. But the thing is you yourself have to have that money to pass on to your family, your future family. Because the downfall is if when you retire, all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I have $1 million, you know, and then all of a sudden you find out you're going to die in a year. So all of a sudden you're just going to go off and buy everybody a bunch of crap, go on a bunch of vacations, and try to blow $1 million in a year. Why? Why don't you set up a trust fund or something along those lines that you put restrictions on that money, and then all of a sudden now it's setting up future generations for success, right? You could put limitations on it, like when anybody turns 16, they get $7,000 for a car. Whenever anybody goes to college, they get $15,000 a year for college, right? And in reality, you could probably, if you wanted, go to a community college and get a degree. But if you wanted to go to one of these fancy colleges, that's $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, well, then you're going to have to do something, but it would be the equivalent of having a partial scholarship, right? Or if they get married, $20,000 goes towards the wedding. Something along those lines. And I think if you actually did that, instead of hoarding those things and then just blowing it all, right? Set restrictions, some for you, some for you, some for you, some for you. As it creates interest and grows and grows and grows, not only are your great-grandkids, grandkids, all these things set up for future, you know, now you're making sure that things happen. You can set it up as well to where, okay, I'm Catholic, so, you know, $5,000 goes to my Catholic parish every year. Very simple. But once again, somebody had to make the sacrifice. And that's what it's all about. Are you going to make that sacrifice? Are you going to be the person that instead of saying me, 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 I, my, say we, our, ours, my family, help people. And this is why we need that alone time, right? You need to contemplate these things. What can you do to make sure and ensure that the future generation is going to be in a better place? So I still didn't get to where I wanted to. There was something I wanted to talk about, but I hope this idea of a true barter system will give you something to think about, right? So once again, I hope this helps. Don't forget to follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Podcast is out there. Subscribe to this channel. Share and like these videos.